Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 2, Episode 9, the penultimate episode. For a while, who knows when we're going to be getting this show back, but that's okay, because they're going out with a bang. Couple weeks, we had the crossover, we had a big intense war story. This time around, before we get to the finale, where I guess plot lines are going to be resolved, if you can even say there are any plot lines that need to be resolved, I guess maybe one or two, we have to have a little fun. Now, I've heard some conflicting reports on Subspace Rhapsody, but I just have to tell you, just right now, before we get any further into this discussion, this is the most impressive episode that the show has done. And I have liked every single episode of the show. The fact that this had the dedication, the commitment, the interest, the desire to attempt an entirely musical episode. That's awesome. We don't do that anymore. That is such a staple of television, like Star Trek itself is. So Star Trek trying to play with that, I'm here for it. This show, more than any other on television, has really just been like, what if we did staples of both our own genre and of television genre? We don't get serialized storytelling to this level anymore. So when this show's just like, hey, we got an hour to kill, what if we get like our main cast to do some songs and we're just gonna have fun? That's what we're doing here. It's a musical episode. I love musicals. They get into the musical pretty early on because they are headed towards like this weird like space time fold, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just like a thing in space. And if they use like their communications properly, they could like use it like a long range frequency to like shoot it across further. So it's like instantaneous communications. But maybe if they used a different frequency like Pelias says, and they could maybe transmit a song, then the harmonics would connect differently. And then boom, that's what they're going to have to do. So Uhura says, hey, let's give that a shot. The first song we hear is from Anything Goes. Anything Goes is one of my favorite musicals, and it's a soundtrack I listen to way too much. So right from the get-go, right from the very moment we're jumping into the musical episode, they're opening the musical I love. And then we do the beats of a musical, which is so fun when you have a show that is doing an homage to these types of things in the vein that Strange New Worlds is. It's self-referential, it's aware of what it's doing. And that's what this is. In high, tense, emotional moments, all of our lead characters are going to start singing. And every single one of our main characters sing. Some of them get more to do, and I completely understand that. Not that you could see which cast members were more interested in that dynamic. I think it's just more like there are emotional beats that these specific characters are hitting for this sequence because that's what their character needs. Would I have liked to see M'Benga do more? Of course. I love that guy. Even Pike. Not a whole lot. But they used it really well. And I'm not going to comment on anybody's actual musical talent. I don't have any. And these are professional actors. Professional actors are taught to sing and to dance and sword fight, all that shit. Like, they are doing better than I ever could in that situation. So, some of them, better than others. That's all I'm going to say. I have no comment on who's the best or who's the worst. Just that you could clearly see these are professionals who are told to hit these notes the right way, and they did that. And the entire time you're watching this, I'm having a great time. I am smiling through every interaction, through every single song. There are so many great songs. There's a couple of ones. There's the initial, like, why are we singing song, which is so great. And then it jumps into Unachin Riley and Kirk having, they have a song where it's like, you gotta be a better captain, and that's great. And Leon sees that, and then she has, like, why can't I feel anything? And then there's the song, so then I think the next one, I wish I knew the name of the song. So the next one is Pike confessing to his girlfriend in front of his crew, I don't want to go on your trip. And then Leon has one of Riley where it's just like, it's okay, I can burden your secret. And then I think from there we go to the one of Christine, which is probably one of the best choreographed songs in the entire piece, which is amazing. Spock has his ballad where he sings like, I'm depressed and unhappy. And then Uhura has her ballad where she's like, I know how to get everybody back together. And then we have the grand finale. There might be a couple more squeezed in there just somewhere, just random people singing. Look, I love a good thing when we're on a ship and everyone's dancing and having a good time. The choreography is great. I love the Una Chin Riley and Kirk dance where there's waltzing through, like, the halls. That looked so great. I love, like, the small ballads of everybody getting their emotional stakes. When you just have Spock walking around a room, talking about, like, I'm a human too. I feel these things. It's amazing, and I dig it. The best looking one, the best looking song and entire number by far was Christine's, because that was where it's like, yeah, we have like backup singers, there's choreography, everyone's like lifting her up, and all of this, I'm just saying all this. There's actually like stakes in this episode too that like go throughout the entire thing. It's a bunch of characters like confessing their feelings. I guess like the major first one we get is like Pike and his girlfriend. He doesn't want to go on like the vacation she wants to plan. So there's that conflict. Next one is Christine actually gets accepted into another scholarship on Vulcan, so she's going to go away there, but that would mean she's not going to be able to see Spock anymore, and it seems like she's willing to accept that, like her song, because all these things are revealed in emotional stakes through music, because it's a musical and we're doing the parody. She reveals that she's okay leaving Spock to pursue her academics. Spock is not. And that's great. And that is a really emotional, intense beat that this episode plays with. And I love that. Like, like, having that actually matter throughout the entire season, be something that we're expressing through the song, is what makes it feel naturalistic and cool. Yes, it is a little on the nose when we have, it's spreading across all of the crews and the Starfleets and everything's going crazy. Every ship is singing. Everyone in the vicinity is singing. The Klingons are singing. I mean, we're going out of order anyways. The Klingons singing is like the funniest thing you've ever seen. It's like to the point where you're like, this feels like an SNL sketch parody of what this is supposed to be. But it's real, and I'm losing my mind. You know who would never do that? Star Wars, Marvel, DC. No other major franchise has the guts to do what this just did. No, they don't. It's amazing. And that's just like how brave. Oh, how brave. That was a stupid thing to say. It's just like what Star Trek's willing to do. It's like compromise yourself. I say that in air quotes, like you can do the vulnerable stuff and be weird like that without compromising your integrity or like what makes you you. Is it the lowest rated episode of the season? Yeah, because people are afraid of the truth that this is brilliant. It's got the best camera movements. Like, we have so many spinning shots where the camera's moving 360 or following a character or rotating it 360 degrees where it's doing things and moving in different ways than what you're expecting. And that's so cool that we're actually doing that. And it's so cool that we follow up on the Leon and Kirk story. We do that. We're following it up here. Because Leon is so scared that she's going to sing a song about her feelings to Kirk that she just has to tell him before she breaks out in a song. Like, I know you from a different timeline, and that guy was really nice, and I liked him, and I loved him, and we were great, and we kissed, and sometimes I dream about us in like a bed making out, and that's great. And every time I see you, I feel that again. And you're like, oh, it's so intense and gripping, and it's scary. Why are we doing that right now? It's even more intense. I've very much come around on this Kirk from the first season. He is just so there now. Like, I think Wesley's got it, where he's just like, I felt that too. Like when you called me that day, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's there. But I'm also like in a very complicated situation with like this woman named Carol. We don't say anything else, but I believe it's clearly intended to be Carol Marcus. Like, who else would Carol be? We also reveal that Carol is pregnant. So, interesting. So, this Kirk had a reputation that precedes him. Like, apparently Sam would say stuff about him. So there was maybe the womanizer back there, and now this is like an older Kirk who's changing into the man he was going to become like later on in like the run and in the movies that Shatner did and stuff. It's interesting because I know, like, part of me wants to see like Paul Wesley do the classic Kirk thing. It's like, let's like flirt, let's have fun, let's do the Chris Pine effect where you're just like, this guy's too charming to get it wrong. But there's something very classic about him being like the good man and accepting his role as what he needs to be that I appreciate. Breaks Leon's heart, and I hate to see that, but luckily she's got the support of her friends to help her out. That's really cool. I'm like, okay, I can see we're doing something special here. I dig that a lot. And look, I love the music. I love the sequence where Pike gets on his knees to sing like how much he's confessing his love to his lady, and then we see that Leon shuts off the monitor, and he's just there like, okay, that was awkward. It's all great. And all of like the individual songs and ballads are so fantastic, and they're great, but because it's a musical, we have to wrap things up in a big way. And to get out of this loop, the only way we can do that, we can't fire torpedoes at it, we can't zip up the zipper. We have to hit a certain decibel that will like have a shatter effect throughout the whole thing, because it's a finale, because we're riffing on musicals. What do we have to do? We have to sing a huge song from our heart, because we've been so down in the dumps of all of like these first songs. The last one's got to be so positive. And Uhura has to lead us off. So it's so personal and beautiful and just intimate, where she's just like talking on the intercoms to everybody on the ship. And it's just like, hey, it's amazing. We're all here on this ship right now to do this very specific thing. Just think about that. We're lucky to be on the Enterprise. We're lucky to be here. She starts singing, and then Leon starts singing, and then Spock starts singing. Like, people that are down in the dumps start singing, and then we do a beautiful shot. Oh my goodness, where it's just a couple of just like ensigns in the halls. The camera spins, flips back up, and we're in like musical mode, and we're doing like the classic like musical dance choreography. And then everyone just does a big song together, and it's a big happy conclusion, and all our main cast gets to like the front of the stage and does their ensembling bow, and it's just so beautiful and intimate, and it saves the day. We reach the certain decibel, we destroy the fold, and we win. And I'm like, yes, we win. Yes, we win the audience, because our characters are having big personal emotional stakes. We're turning off the gravity in rooms, and we're dancing in the air. We're having intimate conversations about love and loss and tragedy and what we want and what we don't want. And we're doing it through a musical, because we did Anything Goes. And you're right, anything does go in Star Trek. We can do anything. And we chose to do a freaking musical. I cannot be mad at that. Like, even if this is not an episode you respond to because you might be an insane person, you cannot be mad at a show for genuinely tackling this concept. Because it's so rare that genre breaks into genre like this. And the cast was committed, and the choreography and camera work was committed, and everyone was willing to do this. And that's so cool. And it's in universe, it's all canonical, it's all just part of their story, and it works so well. The plot thickens because of it. That's cool. That's great. And we got to sing some songs. We had a big sweep and epic song at the end. All for one for us, all of us. I think it's all of us. It's awesome. And hey, they got some voices on there. That's pretty cool. I do love it. It's great. Look at the fun we have. Look at the fun we can have on a show like this. I want more. We're going to have one more episode this season. It's probably going to be emotional, but I want them to do more genre stuff like this. Last season, we did the fantasy world. We're doing a musical this season. In season 3, let's do Muppets or something, you know? Let's just go into it. Lean into that shit. It's great. It's great. It was great. I had so much fun, and the songs are going to be stuck in your head. You're just going to love it. Every character works, and Leon quietly had one of the best arcs on the show. It's fantastic. But I have not stopped thinking about that Christine Chapel song. Wow. Beautiful, just personal and scary, and I loved every second of it. I loved it. Best show of the year, best episode of the best show of the year, best thing I've ever... I can't imagine a thing being better than that. So there you go. Thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.